Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're cracking open a source that gets right to the heart of technology, specifically AI, and its role in fields that absolutely depend on, nuanced human expertise.
And this isn't just some abstract theory. This source is talking directly to professionals, people striving to be seen as genuine specialists, as authorities. So yeah, we're talking to you, our listeners who are chiropractors.
Exactly. The source we're diving into is an article from Balanced Brands. It's called Why AI Gets Brand Strategy Wrong. And it really zeroes in on what AI simply can't see or feel, or importantly, help you actually implement.
Right. It argues pretty passionately for why human strategists, human experts, still hold really essential value.
And here's the core tension it sets up. AI, well, it's undeniably fast.
Super fast and smart in a technical way, right? You can ask it for stuff like positioning statements or, I don't know, a basic launch plan, and you get answers instantly. And yeah, okay, technically the information might be correct.
But, and this is where the source really throws down the gauntlet, strategically. It argues that same AI output can be, and I quote, still dead wrong.
Dead wrong. That's strong language.
It is. So our mission in this deep dive is to really unpack why the source makes such a bold claim. We're going to explore those crucial human elements it says AI just doesn't have.
And importantly, connect these ideas directly back to your experience as chiropractors. The source itself does this when it talks brand strategy for your profession, so we'll lean into that.
Yeah, what does this source suggest about the absolutely irreplaceable value that you, as human experts dealing with other humans every day, bring to the table? Especially now, with tech becoming so, well, everywhere. Let's unpack this.
Okay.
So let's jump right into the source's core argument. It definitely acknowledges AI's power. It's fast, it's smart.
Right, it can churn out info, technically correct answers. Like in seconds, you ask for complex stuff, boom, you get something back.
But then it pivots immediately to what it calls the uncomfortable truth. While AI might be technically correct with the data, the structured responses.
Strategically, it can be still dead wrong.
That phrase just sticks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Strategically dead wrong. How can something so good with information get strategy so wrong?
Well, the source explains that. It says strategy isn't just about getting answers handed to you, on a silver platter. It's fundamentally about the questions you ask and the context you understand. And AI, well, despite all its processing power, it struggles deeply with both of those things. They're just inherently human.
And a key part of that missing context, the source says, is AI's inability to spot that gap between what someone says and what they really mean.
Exactly. That inability to grasp the subtext, the unsaid meaning, that's where the source really hammers home the need for human skills. It states it very clearly. Real brand strategy requires intuition.
And it uses these great sort of everyday examples, like being in a meeting and someone says something.
Yeah.
Maybe it sounds minor, but you, the human, you notice something. You see their eyes light up, or you hear their voice changes just slightly.
Wow.
These subtle shifts. The source calls them critical cues. They tell you, okay, dig deeper here.
Yeah.
The conversation wasn't supposed to go there, maybe, but that's the thread you pull instinctively, because that's where the gold is. That's where the real insight is hiding.
Yeah, seriously, try asking ChatGPT to notice a spark in someone's voice over Zoom.
Huh, right. The source makes that point really well. Or asking it to notice a subtle shift in posture. Or when someone gets a bit uncomfortable, which the source notes usually means we're getting close to the truth.
These are signals that carry so much information, but AI is just blind to them.
And the source is careful to say, look, this isn't some vague woo stuff. It's grounded in real human abilities, emotional intelligence, understanding and responding to emotions.
Pattern recognition, but human patterns, not just data. And discernment. That ability to judge well, to see subtleties.
These are things AI just doesn't have, not in the human sense. It doesn't have intuition, no instincts.
And it definitely doesn't know when someone is lying to themselves in real time. Think about that. That human ability to sense inner conflict or unspoken needs.
The source presents these as uniquely human skills, absolutely essential for real strategic insight.
Yeah.
The kind that gets to the actual problem or the real opportunity.
Okay, but the source doesn't stop there. It says even if somehow you coaxed a, halfway decent strategy out of AI, you're still facing what it calls two giant problems.
Right. Problem one.
Yeah.
The strategy you get is probably going to be generic, vague, or just flat out wrong.
Yeah.
And the reason, most people going to AI just don't know the right questions to ask. They don't know how to frame it strategically, how to filter the noise.
Exactly. The source really stresses this. Getting the right answer, the strategically right answer, depends entirely on asking the right questions. If you don't know those, AI can't just guess.
You can't read your mind.
Nope. And the second problem is just as big, maybe even more practical. You still don't know how to implement it. The source puts it so well. Strategy isn't the end, it's the starting line.
Mm-hmm.
AI might give you data points, maybe insights, but it doesn't help you turn those insights into action in the real messy world.
That's the implementation gap the author talks about elsewhere. You get the what, maybe the why in theory, but zero how for your specific situation.
So in contrast, what does the human expert bring? The source lists it out, that essential mix of intuition, real insight from experience, and I like this phrase, a track record of seeing what others miss.
Yeah. And the human expert helps you implement. They don't just brainstorm and leave you hanging.
They help you navigate your unique terrain because they get the nuances AI doesn't.
And sure, a human expert might use AI. It's a powerful tool, but they use it the right way.
Like the example given, training a custom GPT based on a human-developed strategy. Then AI can crank out content faster, keep things consistent, sure, but it's working behind the human strategic thinking.
Right. The human is the strategist asking the right questions, understanding the context, bringing the intuition. AI is the tool executing tasks based on that human foundation.
As the source puts it, AI is powerful, yeah, but it's only as smart as the strategy behind it.
And that foundational, intuitive human strategy, that's what makes the real difference.
Now, this is where the source gets super relevant because it's explicitly written for you, our listeners. It frames this whole AI versus human debate, right, in terms of brand strategy for your chiropractic practice.
Yeah, it talks about finding your brand's superpower, that unique thing that makes your practice stand out.
Unleashing its full potential. It even mentions an assessment to uncover the secret to your brand's success.
And it uses phrases that hit home, like, no more cookie-cutter chiro brands.
Right, which connects directly to your goal of being seen not just as a chiropractor, but as a specialist, an authority, unique.
Exactly. You don't want to be generic. You want your expertise, your approach to be recognized.
And the source argues that trying to shortcut this with AI, it's like duct taping your brand together.
Might hold for a bit.
Yeah, but it lacks depth, lacks authenticity. The human-led approach is about building something real, something that feels like you, represents your unique value, and can stand the test of time.
And the parallel for your day-to-day work is just so clear, isn't it?
Absolutely. Just like generic AI strategy falls short, a purely technical generic approach in your field, like focusing only on the mechanics of the adjustment, well, that misses all the crucial human nuances that define a true specialist, a real authority.
Let's really think about that question. Could a machine someday perform the physical mechanics of an adjustment? I mean, maybe, technically.
Possibly, but could it feel that subtle tension under your hands?
Could it read the patient's nonverbal cues? That tiny wince, the slight guarding you feel when you palpate?
Could it understand the history that's literally felt in the tissues, the story the body tells without words?
Could it have that intuitive sense of when and how to adjust that specific person right then, based on your experience, your empathy, your discernment?
I don't think so. And the source, through its discussion of strategy, really implies that strategic depth, and for you, clinical authority comes from exactly that human capacity for context, intuition, reading subtle cues, tailoring your expertise based on everything you see, feel, and discern.
Right. It's far beyond just the mechanical steps. That's the difference between just doing something technically correct and making a truly profound intervention.
And the source ties this human strategy directly back to your practice's success. It says brand strategy isn't just marketing fluff. It's the essential first step for chiropractors who want their marketing to actually work, and how skipping it leads to wasted effort and cash.
It really underscores the value of that foundational human-led work, not just for your brand, but as a reflection of the value of that same human understanding in your patient care.
Ultimately, the source reinforces this key idea. Being a specialist, an authority, it's not just about technical knowledge or precise execution.
It's profoundly about the human capacity for context, intuition, reading the room or the body.
And tailoring your expertise in nuanced, responsive ways that AI just can't. That's your superpower.
So, wrapping up this deep dive, the source makes a really strong, clear case for the irreplaceable value of human expertise, especially in fields like yours, needing intuition, emotional intelligence, deep context, and discerning meaning beyond just the surface.
And speaking directly to you as chiropractors, it uses brand strategy to show that while AI is a tool, It completely lacks the core human abilities for true insight, strategic depth, real connection, and successful implementation in our complex human world.
It positions the human expert, whether that's a brand strategist helping you to find your unique value, or, the chiropractor in the treatment room, as someone who sees what others miss, understands nuance deeply, and builds something real and unique, not generic, not duct-taped.
Right. True authority and specialization, it argues, don't come from just speed or data access. They come from discernment, asking the right questions or listening for the unasked ones, and giving solutions tailored to the individual based on that deep, intuitive understanding AI just doesn't have.
So it prompts us to really consider, what is your unique superpower beyond the technical skill? What makes you, the human expert, irreplaceable?
Yeah, which leads to a really important question for you to think about going forward. In this tech-heavy world, how do you lean into and how do you communicate the value of those unique human capabilities? Your intuition, reading subtle cues, verbal and physical, your discernment, your empathy, that wisdom from hands-on experience?
All the things no AI can replicate.
Exactly. How do you highlight that irreplaceable human element to really solidify your position as a true specialist and authority in your field?
Definitely something powerful to think about as you keep refining your practice and your approach.
Indeed.
That was our deep dive into the strategic importance of human intuition and context versus technical AI. We hope it gave you some valuable insights.